Hello, welcome back to Mrs. Hewitt's Spelling at Home. Your word study session for today is based on our root morpheme, sol. Now, there are lots of different meanings of sol because it can relate to the sun, but today we are going to look at the one that comes from solus, the Latin solus, which means alone. Okay, so not every word with sol in will have something to do with alone, because like I said, there are alternative meanings from different Latin roots. So we're going from solus for this one today. Okay, so all our words from our word grid have something to do with being alone. So I'm going to pop the word grid up to the screen. You can pause the video and you can see which words you can build. Now remember to always read across. Okay, you don't need to use everyone, so you might not need to use your prefix. You might be able to start here, you might stop here. And remember, as you join them together, write your word sums. You need to be thinking about which spelling rules you need to apply. So you need to drop some letters. Are there some letters that change when you add different suffixes to it? Because that's the important bit, is that learning that you do again and again and again. So get ready to pause the video while I put the morpheme grid up to the screen. Okay, so let's see which word you built. I haven't written loads today because they basically follow 3 pathways. So as long as I talk about each pathway, you'll get to know the meaning of the words. The obvious one at the start there is solo. So that relates to how somebody's doing. Quite often in foreign languages, when I say foreign, sort of the Latin languages, if the O is on the end, that does relate to yourself, the person doing it. It's one of those kind of verb endings that you can add. So we've got solo, that relates to being on your own. If you do something solo, you are on your own. And you can see underneath also we could talk about a soloist. So maybe in a band or an orchestra, something like that, you would have a soloist, and that is somebody that plays a solo, plays by themselves. Okay, so soloist. Remember, ist is our suffix. It tends to mean somebody doing it, the person doing it. Okay, we also have solitary. So again, that relates to being alone. Okay, if you're on your own, you're very solitary. You've got nothing else around you. Okay, it's solitary. And solitude is the abstract noun. So the solitary is the adjective, it describes it. And then solitude would be the abstract noun. So you talk about being sat in solitude, again, just being on your own. All relates to being on your own. But these are words that perhaps you might read in a text and not necessarily know what they mean. So you can kind of go, oh yes, solo, that relates to being on their own. And also, I didn't write it down, but on here we did have solitaire. Okay, solitaire, game that you play on your own, isn't it? A game for one person. Okay, so the other pathways we've got here is desolate. Now, desolate is an adjective that can describe somebody or it could describe a place. So you could say the house was very desolate in the middle of nowhere, basically. So it's that whole bit about being completely on its own. In this context, the D means completely. Okay, so the desolate, completely alone. Okay, and again, desolation is the act of, that's the noun there of sort of being completely on your own. So that, is a completely desolated. It was completely on its own in the know. They all relate to that sense of being on their own. Notice here though we have desolate. When we make it desolation, my favourite rule, we drop the E, add the ION, so we know which shun it is. So desolation, and the desolated, obviously we don't have a double E, so when we add that ED, we drop that E. The same for desolating as well, because if you leave someone on their own or leave something completely on its own, you're desolating it. Okay, so again, all those quite obvious really, in terms of they all very much just relate to being alone or on their own. It's your turn to write a couple of sentences now. So I'll try and pick some that I think you should probably do. Maybe use desolate as a description. If you were writing a nice atmospheric description about something that was a little bit haunted or alone on its own there, you could put desolate into that description. Then maybe solitary or solitude would be nice ones to use. So if you have a go writing a couple of sentences using that vocabulary, and then you are done for this session, and I will see you back here tomorrow. Bye.